begin, Gianna, yes?
Yes.
Right. Allora, I'm grateful to Gianna, to Francesco for thinking of this meeting. We are all connected, and I greet brothers and sisters from Scotland. Somebody's in Ireland, somebody, the one waving, from the West, Cheltenham, Gloucester, many from London, the Missio Agentes from Plymouth, Portsmouth, Manchester, somebody is picking up the children at school, and I know that somebody is also driving, and I said, drive safely. So we are all connected, and I think it's a very, very important thing, so that in the service that we do in the neo-catechumenal way in the church, we can help brothers and sisters who are in need. So we are here to listen, and there are many presbyters also connected. And so I'm here with Maurizia, and not included is Father Tobias. In view, yes. Is behind a plant. Bene. Francesco, if you want to start with a prayer.
Okay.
Do
you hear me? It's okay.
Yes, very well.
Yeah. Fine. First of all, well, greetings to everybody. I see most of the people I know, so I'm very happy being with you in this occasion, to have this opportunity. Although this is something a bit unusual for me, in a sense, I can say something about these groups. As you know, it's not that I have particular formation for this activity, for this service of the groups of 12 steps and recovering and helping brothers while experiencing this problem of addiction. General problem of addiction can be several things, although this particular service began specifically for the problem of addiction to pornography for us concretely. It is important that we clarify that this is a service offered to the brothers that are in the way. Occasionally, at least in principle, could be offered also to others, but in fact, 99% of those using this particular service are brothers from the community, from the communities. A few years ago, Father Mario asked Gianna to use the experience she had with the 12 steps. 12 steps, you are probably familiar more or less with AA, with Alcoholics Anonymous. The 12 steps are exactly the same. Alcoholics Anonymous, as a support to help the brothers who are experiencing an addiction. First of all, to pornography, but it's not specifically only for pornography. In fact, has been applied to other addictions. And it's important also to clarify another aspect that was important to bring up later on. This is not a sort of psychological branch of the neo-catechumenal way or anything like that. This is a service that has been done actually by brothers of the communities who have a certain experience in this. First of all, Gianna, but there are others. And is to put this instrument at the service of the brothers who need it. What is this service? Those of you who know a bit Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, know that is something that requires, first of all, acknowledging that one by himself cannot solve this problem of addiction. You will see the video after. There is just an example. I saw recently in another concept videos of the brain. Now it's possible to do a magnetic resonance of the brain of people with addictions. A person addicted to cocaine, you see the brain being more and more damaged over the years, changing shape. People addicted to pornography are exactly the same problem. So it's really something that changes the structure of the brain if someone continues. So is offering this service, is offering something to the brothers who start experiencing this addiction. And what is it? Mainly a support. To have someone whom you can call when you are experiencing a crisis, the desire to use pornography. That's the most important thing, beyond the things that will be said. It's also important that what is said is not a stupidity, it's something that can help the person in the right direction. And the right direction is, first of all, acknowledging I cannot solve this by myself. I need someone else, I need a help. I need a help from someone greater than me. And this someone greater than me, first of all, is the help of other people, but in the end, we discover that in the end is God himself. We need him. There is a spirituality behind all of this. What to say? Having said this, this is not the only way in which brothers of the community can be helped in case they experience problems of addiction. There are many others. There are other people who may think this is not their cup of tea, and it's fine. The other people who are not helped or whatever. Obviously, for this to work, it's essential that a person wants to overcome this problem, to control this problem, to be honest. Because as you know, those who are even a little bit familiar with AA, you know that someone who has been in the AA for 25 years will say, well, I'm still a recovering alcoholic. And this we can say also, I am a recovering addicted to pornography. One has to be absolutely aware that this is not magic. This is not something that, okay, you follow the groups for a year and then you are okay, no problem, you can see whatever on the computer and you will have no temptation to stay there watching other things and on and on and on. Absolutely not. You will be exactly in the same situation of a person who has been an alcoholic and cannot be there smelling a glass of whiskey. That's a fact. Because someone asks, what is the percentage of success of this thing? Well, if by success you intend that I will no longer feel temptation to watch pornography, the percentage of success is 0.0. Let's be clear about that. And there will always be a temptation. But, and also, what is the percentage of success for someone who maybe wants to quit, but is not really sure if he really wants to quit? The percentage of success is 0, really. Because the point is, unless someone realizes that he's making a mess with his life and needs desperately, really, seriously, a help to fight, this thing is not going to work. A person needs to want to quit this. Having said so, is a program that accompanies a person through crisis, through relapses, through possible falls and a lot of things, and slowly, as you may know, a little bit AA does, is something similar in that sense. In the groups, this thing started in presence, as the meetings of AA in presence. Then happened mainly there was the need to reach people who were in distant countries. Then there was the problem of certain languages, the problem of people who were very scattered, and then mainly there was the COVID. And that was a period that brought Gianna to develop very much this possibility of doing the groups by audio call, not even video. And we realized that the thing was still working and was more flexible, was have been possible to use it more. Gianna may be able to say later, I mean, there are, I don't know how many languages, I don't know how many places that this thing is reaching. And is offering the brothers a support that slowly can bring them to period longer and longer and longer and longer of sobriety. To speak of sobriety in these things of addiction, particularly to pornography, you don't even speak of sobriety if you have a period of less than 3 months. At 3 months you can speak it. That a person begins to experience a period of sobriety. But you need 6, you need 9, you need more to start seeing a change in your behavior. And I repeat, it's still the same change that a recovering alcoholic will experience. You still need to be very, very careful. In the sense about the relationship with the way, with the catechists, etc. Well, the catechists may, if they feel, address a brother, a sister, or whoever to these groups, and the only responsible for the contacts between this person, this program, and the catechist is the person himself. No one in these groups is going to send a report, this person is doing well, is not doing well, whatever. The whole thing is totally anonymous and based on the goodwill of the person. And it's up to the catechist, if they feel that this system can help a person, to come back to that person and say, how is it going? Is it helping you? What is your situation? And whatever. We are not absolutely mixing what happens in the groups with the normal way of the person. The person is supposed, if it's a person that comes from the neo-catechumenal way, as is 99.9% of the people in these groups, is taken for granted that this person continues, is even expressly invited to continue with the community, with the preparations, with everything of the way, but there is no overlapping between the two things. I don't know, I think this is, in a sense, the greatest help that this system is providing is for the person who is fighting with a situation that he or she starts feeling that is damaging him, his or her family, his life, etc., a person whom he may call. In the group, there are many meetings during the day. A person may even take part in more than one group if he feels, or he may find a group in a moment of crisis, or he may find a person in the group to whom he can call, always using a nickname to keep anonymity. Remember, there are no videos. And say, I am having a bad moment, I am very much tempted, and to surrender, in a sense, the need, his situation, to say, I need help, I cannot make it by myself, and a person say, courage. And slowly, after the beginning, as in the AA, there will be people able to act as sponsor, who may guide this person a little bit through strategies that can help this person to overcome these moments of crisis. In a sense, someone could perfectly say, look, I can, in the community, appoint a few people who can receive these calls. What is the need of the groups? A brother who is experiencing this problem and is having a crisis, well, each brother has a support whom he could call. This could be done in a sense. Someone has done it. Obviously, the person who receives the calls need to be trained a little bit on knowing what to say, and you need to have these people. That is not easy, because sometimes the crisis, I mean, I see Gianna is answering calls and in the, I don't say 24 hours a day, but almost. So it is really an immense service that these groups are offering. So what is said in the groups, well, there are some people who are monitoring it. There is a commission that is checking a little bit how things are going, in which we discussed a moment when there was the problem, shall we admit minors, not admit minors, what are the legal problems involved and all these sort of things. We decided not to admit minors in the groups, for example, as you can imagine why. But there is, in a sense, someone who together guides a little bit this whole thing. I don't know, Gianna, if there are other important things to add in this general introduction. You want to mention something to me, I can say it in English.
If you want to speak about the anonymate,
Yeah, well, I mean, in a sense, in the group, the people remain anonymous. It's not just to protect the privacy of the people, surely, but also to avoid other sort of behaviors. There are certain people who like, as you experience in the community, someone who does a very strong echo saying, I am a disaster, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and becomes a lot of narcissism and a lot of showing off a little bit. And we don't think this is helpful. Anonymity helps in this sense, helps to be a bit more sober, to go to the fact, to the problems, to the crisis simply. And also to protect the privacy of the person, for sure. Even the fact of being part of the group, I mean, it's not a person is obliged to say. Although, I mean, obviously in the community, the person is able and allowed to share whatever he or she feels sharing with the brothers. Obviously not what other people have said, but this is obvious. as is normal in any experience or echo in the community. If someone starts telling to the brothers the sins of his wife or somebody else, well, you start telling him, no, that's not the case. I would say this, no? In case there are other things to ask, probably it's better we ask them later, isn't it?
Yes. Also, we have to say that we have three kinds of groups: men, women, and marriage. It's so important to distinguish, because we see that the women respect the men have other problems, more emotive problem, and the men emotional problem. Okay. And relationship, and but we can say this in the second part of this meeting. Francesco, I think that it's enough that what you say. Now we have to show the video, medical video. After the video, if you want to add something, Francesco, you can do. Okay?
Okay. I turn off the mic.
Okay, thank you. Now we can stop the recording.